Live. Hey guys, thank you for joining us on another session of Weeknights with Wonder Girls. I'm Mabel.
Hello, and I'm Cheryl. We will be sharing about our recent rides in Kota Tinggi and Melaka earlier this year, beginning in 2020. So Mabel will be sharing about our ride in Kota Tinggi, and later on I'll be sharing about our experience in Melaka.
And before we start the presentation, let me introduce Travel Wonder to you for those who do not know who we are. We are a licensed online and offline travel agent that specializes in active holidays. So if you're looking to cycle, hike, or run overseas, do keep us in mind. At the same time, we can also arrange other types of vacations like family fun trips, romantic getaways, or rest and relaxation trips. So when the world is ready to travel and you are ready to travel too, you know who to look for lah.
That's right.
And if you like what you see today, remember to like, comment, and share. And so share this post to friends on Facebook who you think will be interested in what we are sharing tonight.
And if you have any questions, please also put it in the comments.
Yes.
You may also like to start a watch party to share with your friends what you are viewing now. So I shall pass on to Mabel. Okay, bye bye. See you later.
See you later, Cheryl. Okay. So for all our active trips, you can view it on our website at www.travel-wonder.com. You may also subscribe to our mailing list to receive all the latest updates on active holidays from Travel Wonder. We send out e-newsletter every Friday. At the same time, you can check out all our past trips, photos, and videos on our social media platform on Facebook as well as YouTube. And before I start the presentation proper, I'd just like to ask everyone out there, have you been to Kota Tinggi before? If you have, type KT in the comments to let us know. Prior to this recce trip that we went in January, honestly, my impression of Kota Tinggi is just on the mountains because all my previous trips there has just been day hikes to Gunung Muntaha, Gunung Panti. So when we were asked to go there for a cycling trip and to stay for 2 nights, my first impression is like, huh? What's there to do in Kota Tinggi except for hiking in the mountains? So I realized after this trip that there's a lot of things to be done, and you will soon realize in the next few slides. So for our trip, Sharon and I traveled out of Singapore at night, and we took a coach into Kota Tinggi, which is just 2 hours away from Singapore. We checked into the Oyo Heritage Hotel, which is nice and comfortable, and I'll stay for the next 2 nights. It's one of the better hotels in Kota Tinggi town, and adjacent to the hotel is a very nice, small, cozy mall. Across the road from the hotel is another bigger mall called Keep Mall, and it has all the usual supermarkets, retail outlets. So our ride on the first day in Kota Tinggi covers about 49 kilometers with some undulation along the route, but it's very manageable and enjoyable. We start our ride on quiet village roads that comes with minimal traffic, and you can enjoy continuous cycling. Interestingly, the wind is cooling even as we cycled past 8 a.m. in the morning. And when we were nearing the waterfall, we were surrounded by lush rainforest where the rustling of the trees are like music to the ears. We saw lots of neatly planted palm trees along the way. Just before we reached the waterfall, we passed by rubber tree plantations. And this is the both of us at the entrance of the Kota Tinggi waterfall. Unfortunately, when we were there, we didn't get to see the waterfall because it was under renovation. So we had to make do with seeing the wall murals of the Kota Tinggi waterfall. But the good news is the waterfall has now been reopened since 14 March this year. After our visit to the waterfall, we had lunch at a famous local chicken rice stall. So according to the locals, people from near and far travel out to this unpretentious local chicken rice stall for their chicken rice fix. We ordered the roast chicken set, and it's really very tasty. It's cooked in the Malay style, so it's very different from the usual kind of chicken rice that we ate. After lunch, we have to burn it off, so we continue our ride to the Argo Organic Farm. And this is us turning into the farm. The ride in the organic farm is very fun and interesting because it covers many different terrains. We rode through rows of coconut trees and enjoyed fresh coconut juice straight from the tree. It is just what we needed to freshen us up. In the farm, we also had organic jambu, which is juicy and crunchy. We tasted sweet fruit honey too that is made by stingless bees. The taste is really quite exquisite. It's very light, sweet, and a little sour, maybe because it's from the citrus of the fruit. The fun part of riding in the organic farm is that you have no idea what fruits you get to taste along the way, as it depends on the season. So during our ride, we got to taste jackfruit as well. The both of us had a nice seafood dinner in town after the ride. During our trip, we didn't order a lot because it's just the two of us. On the second day of our ride, we explored the town of Kota Tinggi and all their hidden gems. The ride on the second day is about 10 kilometers. It's very flat, as you can see from the elevation chart. We rode to a local pier where the villagers take their boats out to fish and prawn. It's also a popular place to view fireflies. We also learned about the importance of this river to the locals. And we enjoyed a simple yet delicious local breakfast prepared by the village chief as we dine in his home and hear about the stories that he has to share about his village. Next, we explored Kota Tinggi's mural lane and all the beautiful wall art. There's plenty of murals drawn by the local artists, and both Sharon and myself felt that these murals are even prettier than the ones that we had seen in Ipoh and in Penang. We were so pleasantly surprised by all the beautiful artworks. There are a lot more murals that I wish I can show you here, but we have a time limit, so I shall bring you to see it for yourself in future. This is us crossing the icon of Kota Tinggi. So this bridge you will see is the first thing you see when you enter the town of Kota Tinggi. We will be crossing the bridge to the other side to continue touring with our bike. There was a massive flood back in December 2006 where the flood waters, because of torrential rain, the river water rose up to the height of 4.9 meters, covering the town. And just when they thought things couldn't get worse, in January 2007, there was another round of heavy rain and the flood water rose to 5.45 meters, which easily covers the height of this bridge. So in a town where most of the buildings are single story, the devastation is massive, to the town. So when we learned about the story, how the locals, the villagers overcome this calamity and then, emerge stronger, the story is really very heartwarming. As part of our ride, we also enjoyed some ice chendol with the locals at a roadside ice chendol store. The chendol is really light, and it's freshly made. So it's one of the highlights for our ride during the second day as well. So that's for our ride in Kota Tinggi. Let me bring Cheryl back online to see if you have any questions.
Hello.
Hello. Has there been any questions for the ride of Kota Tinggi so far?
Let me see. No, not yet. Angeline has a question, but I couldn't figure out what she is asking.
Just the two of you, and this isn't
Yes. So I couldn't figure out, but never mind. We'll see what she replies later on.
Okay.
Just now you mentioned about at the farm you tried some fruits.
Yeah.
I didn't really catch what are the fruits that you tried. Would you repeat it for me again?
Okay, so during the trip there, I tried coconut, fresh
Mm.
coconut juice. I tried the jambu, jackfruit, and star fruit as well. But the star fruit I didn't
Wow.
take picture. Yeah, but there's a lot more fruits in the organic farm, so it depends on the seasonality that we go. So it's like a
Okay.
surprise lah that they will offer, and they just straight away pluck the fruits from the tree and you sample it on the spot.
Wow, that is really nice. I
Yeah.
mean, like we love to take a lot of fruits, but really to try something really off from the tree, that's quite rare unless we
Yes.
can do it. We can only do it overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then one more question.
Mm.
On this trip, what type of bicycles is suitable? Do we have to bring our own bike or rental is available?
Okay, for this trip, you will have to bring your own bike. We can provide rental as well, but for
Mm-hmm.
very limited quantity of bikes.
Okay.
So in terms of bringing your own bikes, actually all types of bikes are suitable because especially for the first day, most of the time you'll be riding on tarmac roads. Just that if you are having 4D road bikes or hybrid bike, in the organic farm, right, you will not be able to ride inside the farm itself because
Okay.
the terrain is very rough. So
Okay.
we don't want you to puncture your tire because there's still another ride on the second day. Yeah. So to ride in the farm for the full experience, you need to have a mountain bike. Yeah.
Mm.
But if you don't have, it's okay because you can just park your bike out. Then there will be a tram provided to bring you right into the actual
Ah.
farm. Yeah. So those who have mountain bikes and want to ride, you can ride along with the tram. Or if you're too tired, right, then you can just hop onto the tram with the rest, and just enjoy the tour around the farm.
Mm.
Mm.
So regardless whether you want to ride or you can ride or cannot
Yeah.
ride, the tram is already booked for the
Yes.
group.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. We have
Okay.
two questions here.
Mm.
John asks, how far is the ride on the first day?
The first day is 49 kilometers in total. So once we reach, after the ride in the organic farm, we will take a transport from the farm back to the town. We will not be riding back to town.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Angeline asks, when is jackfruit season? And can we tapao back?
When is jackfruit season? The time we went in January is jackfruit season lah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You remember that jackfruit that is so huge and it weighs about 20 over kg?
Yes, correct.
Uh,
Yeah. So when is it? Okay, let me go and find out more as in the
yeah.
exact season. I'll let you know.
Yeah,
Can tap out.
it should be around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also jambu also because I remember the guy just pluck off the jambu from the tree and
Yes.
then just cut and we share.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, so no more questions at the present moment. So
Okay.
probably later on we will have more coming in.
Okay, sure. Okay, so now I will have pass over to Cheryl, who will cover the second part, which is on cycling in Malacca.
Okay, thank you. So continue to like, comment, and share, and also start a watch party. I'll be waiting for your questions, and we will answer them later on. So without further ado, we will start. We will leave at 2 p.m. from Singapore to Malacca and arrive in the late afternoon at the Imperial Heritage Hotel, which is our stay for the next 2 nights. The hotel is in a great location with a mall just across the street. Plenty of eateries around and just a 7 to 10 minute stroll away from Jonker Street. So after dropping our bags at the hotel, we went to Jonker Street immediately for our food fix. We walked past this shop so many times on previous trips, but never have a chance to try because it is always long queue. So we are very happy to be able to do so this time. There are just so many food to eat in Malacca. This is Nyonya Assam Laksa. It is different from the Penang Assam Laksa. It is a must try and you should not miss it. Then of course, Chendol. How is it possible to let this delectable dessert off? The coconut milk is fragrant with the right amount of sweetness from the gula Melaka. It's simply awesome. Then we continue to stroll the street as the night market starts, and we continue eating along the way. The next day, we were all rallying to go on our first day of ride. Our ride starts from the countryside, so we took a van transfer out to collect our bicycles. We covered around 43 kilometers for the ride through the countryside, and it was mainly on off-road country trails with no significant elevation climbs, as you can see from the map. 30% of today's ride are on tarmac. Throughout the ride, we will switch between trails and tarmac. The first trail that we encounter is very flat on hard gravel. It's easy ride and nothing too technical. Then our route suddenly opens up to a field of green and blue skies. We have reached the paddy fields. It is really a sight to behold. We will spend some time at the paddy fields for lots of picture taking. We are able to ride into the middle of the paddy fields for more picture taking. Then the journey continues on through palm oil plantations until we reach Kesang River that borders the state of Johor on the left and the state of Melaka on the right, as you've seen in the picture. Then the vegetation gets denser as we continue riding. And we will begin to see animals such as plenty of cows and a few big monitor lizards enjoying the sun tanning on the path. Along the way, we came across some workers at work within the palm oil plantation. We are able to watch them harvesting the palm fruits skillfully. Our lead also explained the benefits of the palm oil fruits. We can find the use of it in many cosmetics. It contains high in vitamin C and E. We quickly rub some of the oil onto our fingernails straight from the source. We saw an interesting sight as we leave the plantation. Termite nests taller than us, and there are quite a few of them around. This is not a difficult ride as the route is mainly flat and the trails are easy to cycle on. However, you do need to bring along a sense of adventure. For example, like crossing makeshift bridges. Also, riding through tunnels, sometimes on muddy paths. But the adventure is worth it. We have finally reached the large, tranquil lake Tasik Biru. The locals here affectionately call it the Blue Lake, as it shimmers in hues of deep blue during certain time of the day as the sun rays beam onto the water. You can even swim in the lake if you like. Lots of great spots for photo opportunities or simply for relaxation. We had lunch at the residence of the family who live just next to the lake. The return cycling journey was not long, and we ended the ride as we approached the first town in sight. It was an exciting history lesson on Wales as we ride around the UNESCO heritage town the next morning. The ride is around 8 kilometers around the town with lots of sightseeing and story stops. We will cycle past famous heritage sites such as the A Famosa fortress built by the Portuguese, Christchurch and the statues built by the Dutch, also the Church of St. Francis Xavier built by a French priest during British times, just to name a few. As we cycle around, We learned the architectural and cultural influences that the Portuguese, Dutch, and British had left behind. Now we are good in telling who constructed those architecture or houses by looking at the facade of the structures. Be transported back into the old times and relive the lifestyles and belief of the people between the rich and the poor. Visit the original coffee shop of Ik Chang. If you love our local coffee, often known as Nanyang coffee, this is the place you must visit. We explored hidden back alleys that tourists do not know about. There used to be a well here, but it is now sealed up and the authority replaces the story with a wall mural. If you peep down, it is still a functioning well with water. As we cycled along Melaka River, we could see a stark difference of living conditions just by looking at the buildings which is parallel across the river during the olden days. There are also lots of wall mural to admire. Our ride ended as we finished viewing the arts on the wall. You can find out more details on both trips, the Kota Tinggi ride and the Melaka ride on our website at www.travel-wonder.com under Wonder Collection. You may also read about our experience, more in-depth information of the trip from our blog. Similarly, just go to our website www.travel-wonder.com. On the homepage, scroll down and you will see the stories there. So now we would like to know if there are any questions and we will have Mabel back onto the screen.
Okay. Thanks, Cheryl. Let me see. We have both Angeline and Adeline saying they have been to Malacca before. John too. Adeline says she can't wait to go overseas for cycling trips again.
And you know what? Today, is it today or yesterday? It's supposed to be the day she goes on her cruise rendezvous with her husband. And I reminded her about it. Because
Okay,
there goes our 3 long weekend.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
true.
Yeah, 3 long weekend that we have to spend in location.
Okay, there's no questions regards from our viewers, but I do
Okay.
have a few questions for you, Cheryl, for the Malacca trip.
Mm.
First thing is I would like to know whether for this trip is the bike provided and whether can we bring our own bike.
Yes, first of all, bicycle is provided and we will provide mountain bikes, mainly
Okay.
because of the terrain. As you heard in the earlier part of the presentation, there will be a mixture between tarmac and hard gravel trails, and only 30% is on tarmac actually. So most of the time we will be on trails and hard gravel trails. So
Okay.
you can also bring your own bicycle, but it has to be mountain bike.
Okay. And I would like to know, Malacca is a city full of lots of delicious cuisine. So it's
You must be thinking about it now, right?
so are the meals provided during the trip?
Okay, on this trip, we didn't provide a full board meal, mainly because, as you mentioned it, there are a lot of food, good food to savor in Malacca. So on this trip, we will only provide 2 breakfasts. We want to make sure you are full of energy also to start the riding. Then another inclusive meal is the one at the village place, just by the lake. The family is going to cook us a lunch. Simple lunch as what we shown in the picture. Yeah. Then the rest of the meal, we will leave it for the cyclists to explore because there's just so much choices. And we simply do not know which one should we put it into the program, because no matter which one we put, someone will say, you should have this, you should have that. So no, we'll leave it to everybody to enjoy. So you can have 2 dinners or even more snacks. So up to you.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's see.
Mm.
There's no further questions. Shan was saying the terrain looks friendly for me. Quite worried for the ride.
This
You
one
can
should be
do it.
okay. You can
Yeah.
do it. You can do it. And usually we will always tell the cyclists, less is more. The lesser you know, the more you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, now let's see. Let's continue on.
Okay. So next week on 29th of April at 3:30 p.m. on Facebook Live, join us with our friend from the UK as we will chit chat about cycling in Europe. Then on 30th of April, next Thursday at 10 p.m., we will be inviting the representative of Northern Territory of Australia to come on board to tell us more about this destination. Mabel and myself went hiking in Kakadu National Park and Litchfield National Park last March in 2019. And the experience is awesome. So if you
Yes.
want to know more about Northern Territory, jump in on at 30th of April at 10 p.m. So we have come to the end of the presentation. Thank you very much for tuning in.